Which brings us to our fourth and final challenge.
Please, please, please don't be a dessert towers.
Our next guest is the real deal. He's a French pâtissier who's trained in Michelin-starred restaurants in Strasbourg. Please welcome Guillaume Nicoli.
It basically looks like a firework. It looks like it's just been popped off. And I can't get my head around it for a bit because it's all kind of moving.
That's what I didn't want. I just start crying because it's what I didn't want. It's exactly what I didn't want.
So welcome to MasterChef, Guillaume.
Merci beaucoup. Hi, I am Guillaume Nicoli, and I am the owner of Ma Chérie French Pastries. Pastries, for us French, is an art. When people will buy some pastries, it has to look unbelievable, beautiful and perfect, means pleasure of life.
So tell us about this amazing creation.
Oh, this is a new creation I've got. It's macaron flour frenzy tower.
What do you think?
It looks incredible, but it's terrifying as well. This is going to be an extremely tough challenge, like 10 times over the Tower of Terror.
For those of you who don't know what a macaron is, it's a classic French pastry. In English, we call them macaroons, not to be confused with coconut macaroons. Macarons are 2 almond meringue domes sandwiched together with a flavoured filling. Today we have cherry, raspberry and strawberry. They've been around for centuries in France, but in the last 15 years they've become hugely popular worldwide.
Guillaume, what do you look for in a macaron?
To make the shell perfect, have to be crunchy and gooey inside, and then for the filling, have to be fruity and smooth to get this beautiful texture of what is the macaron.
Looking at Guillaume's tower, it's absolutely perfect, and there's so much detail on around the tower and each macaroon, and you know that detail requires a lot of precision and accuracy, so I'm really scared looking at his. There's so much detail in it.
That's cool. Yeah. See?
Crunchy.
Gooey, yes, crunch, gooey, creamy.
The macaroons have a very glassy shell, and they crunch under your teeth, and then they're really marshmallow on the inside, and they're exceedingly sweet. It's delicious.
They're amazing. I know that macaroons are probably one of the hardest desserts to make, just because there's so many different things that can go wrong with them.
Guillaume, how long would it normally take for you to make one of these?
I'm going to be on around 2 hours and a half.
Don't panic. We're going to give you a little longer than that. 3.5 hours.
Jax, your total after 3 challenges is 64.
Nadia, your total is 70.
This is your final challenge and it's worth 20 points.
You have 3.5 hours to create the best macaron flour frenzy of your life, and your time starts now.
I just figure, attack it head on, focus, follow the instructions, and I should be okay. You know, I'm hoping that, you know, I'll just forge ahead. I've got 3.5 hours.
I knew it was going to be big, but it's massive, really big. There's 6 points I need to make up in this, so I'm just going to stay focused, clear-headed, follow direction.
I need to make 340 macaroons. You have to make 3 sets of macaroon mixture because it's going to be 3 different colours, 3 different flavours. And that basically means you have to amalgamate icing sugar, almond meal and egg whites.
Beautiful colour, isn't that gorgeous?
This is the kind of challenge that Jax really excels at. If anyone's going to win this challenge, I think it's going to be Jax.
Oh man, I am so happy having a lead going into this challenge, because stuff like this is not my strength. I'm a dietitian. Dietitians don't cook desserts that often. I've got a 6-point lead to protect. Man, I'm going to make sure I really hold on to that.
When you'll feel, then your mix will be nearly finished. Yep. Stop to mix and see how it moves.
Guillaume gives us a few really important tips. Probably the most important tip he gave us was the consistency of the batter and what it has to look like. He described that consistency as being like lava. Well, that kind of looks like lava.
Now you
that
stop
looks
in the
like
pipe.
When it comes to the piping, it's all about being really, really consistent and getting each macaroon almost the exact same size, because if they're different sizes, you're going to have a lot of trouble putting your tower together.
Initially, my piping is taking me a long time. It just feels like it's not comfortable for me.
So and then you push.
Guillaume comes up to me and corrects my piping.
Start to push, and then I get out my nozzle.
And he shows me that I can use my other hand as like with pressure, and I can pipe a lot quicker. And the technique of just squeezing it out and moving on, and it's twice as fast.
Done one batch so far, so this is my second one, then I've got one after this.
Once I've done the first tray and I recognise it's not as hard as I think it's going to be, I get myself into a groove and you know, routine, and it doesn't seem so bad.
Oh, I'm repeating the whole process again. There's 3 parts to the recipe. There's the macaroons themselves, then there's the ganache, and then there's the buttercream. For the ganache and the macaroons, you've got to make 3 times of each quantity, so that's a lot of mixing and making sure you follow the recipe right. So I'm quite daunted by the fact that we've got to do 2 parts of the recipe 3 times over. That's going to take a lot of time, I know. Cool, lava consistency. Sweet.
Once the tray is piped, you have to leave them there until they are not sticky to touch.
You'll start to cook too. They don't stick your fingers anymore, you can feel it?
Yes.
You start now.
Start now.
Once they are in that condition, they can go into the oven for 20 minutes.
She's got 2 ovens there, but she just decides to use one oven and put 2 trays in. One tray goes in at the right sort of level for baking, and the other goes up really high in the oven. I was just so concerned, and that whole top set were going to be completely overcooked. Nadia is using 2 ovens and putting both trays in at exactly the same spot in the oven.
Ooh. Multitasking kicks in then, because you're making your mixture, you have macaroons in the oven cooking, so it's a kind of a cottage industry going on, really. And until the last batch goes in, you're just stuck in that repetitive motion, really.
I'm pretty sure they can keep going for another 5 minutes because the top of them hasn't crusted properly yet. A very key thing with these macaroons is do not open the oven. You don't want to let the air out.
That's an hour and a half gone, 2 hours to go, everybody. Guillaume, what happens if you open the oven while they're cooking?
The macaron may be going a little bit down, and also will stick more on the tray. It's all a matter of losing the hotness from the oven.
It's all done with the eye.
A lot.
I'm watching my first tray of macaroons, and they seem to be rising quite well. They look good. The recipe specifies they have to be out after 20 minutes. So at 20 minutes, I had my timer on, they came straight out. They look really good. They've got a nice shell on them. They've risen. They've got good colour. They look good.
This is my last batch, so hopefully that makes me almost halfway done.
1 hour, 45 minutes gone. 1 hour, 45 minutes gone. You are halfway through the 3.5 hour challenge. The question is, are you halfway done?
Well, this is my last batch of macaroons, and then I have to get straight onto making the ganache.
Ray, they're neck and neck. There's nothing in it whatsoever. They're both on their last batches right now. They're just over halfway. What's coming out of the oven is looking great.
Good, yeah.
They're essentially just doing all their mise en place, all their preparation, so that they're ready to assemble it, and it will come down, I think, to the assembly, to getting those beautiful lines going up around the tower and having the flowers looking great on top.
The next step is to make the ganache for the 3 different types of macaroons with different flavourings. The filling consists of white chocolate, some flavouring, some fruit flavouring, some food colouring and cream. It's quite hard work whisking that really thick chocolate and cream.
300 grams of white chocolate. I just started to make my ganache.
So my first flavouring for my first ganache is strawberry, and I taste it and it's unbelievably sweet. And I'm supposed to put 10 grams in, so I put 5 in.
I'm heating my cream up. As soon as it comes to the boil, it goes straight onto my white chocolate buttons, and then I just whisk as fast as I can. Well, I'm hoping it's not going to seize or split.
Jackson, Nadia, I can tell you right now that you're both at exactly the same stage. I can also tell you that neither of you are going to make it in time. For the last 10 minutes, I've been watching snails. So start to rock and roll, guys. Come on, move.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this done in time. I'm just trying to go as fast as I can.
National Card and Bed Wash.
I'm pulling my macaroons off the baking paper and a lot of them are sticking. They must have not been cooked right through, and they're too gooey inside. Pulling each one off the baking paper takes ages. It's taking about 30 seconds to pull each one off. At that rate, I'm not going to get this tower up, and I'm really worried. I can feel my dream slipping away from me.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I try and prise them off and they are stuck fast to the baking paper.
Oh my Lord.
I have no idea why they're sticking.
Oh God, this is a nightmare.
I really have no idea. It's baking paper. Nothing sticks to baking paper. That's why you use baking paper.
This is going to cause, I think, a bit of a problem.